Right, so I've shown you how to do the pattern pieces and how I draw it out on lining paper. Most of the time I'm doing it to the accurate size of the cushion, so when you're cutting out the fabric you've got to allow for the seam allowances, and I'm going to be sewing mine on the overlocker. So if I cut it out, I'm aware of how much will be used in the seam allowance. So there's only one piece that you need two of, and that's the top and the bottom of the cushion. So what I did was, first of all, this is the biggest piece, so that's the piece I cut out first, and I folded the fabric in half so that I could cut out two at the same time. Obviously makes it a lot easier and quicker. The next ones to cut were the long pieces. I wanted to make sure that I could fit that in, so it was like a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. So the front edge was the next long piece, and then I side by side I put the longer ones. The zip I was able to do across the bottom, and this bit again I've had to cut two from, so I folded that in half again and cut two at the same time. Now with this piece, there's a bit of extra room on there. I'm going to attach the zip, and then I will cut the pieces to size when it comes to fitting it into the cushion. That just gives me a bit of wiggle room with the zip to make sure it's in half and that it's joined, and then I can cut evenly either side. Front edge, again that was another long one, and then I had all the small pieces which I then fitted into the spaces behind. Got a little bit left over, so when I do the next cushion there'll be enough room to get the little pieces away from it. I've left the pattern pieces on the fabric. Each of the pattern pieces are labelled, so I know exactly where it's going to fit in, and I can then work my way through joining it together. So I will use one of the seat pieces. I will then attach the pieces that go around the edge. I'll join to the seat piece first and then use the seam then to do the vertical seams. Once that's all done, I'll pin it to the other part of the seat piece, and make sure it's all pinned, matching the seams, and then I'll go through again and stitch those. Take it step by step, it's not too bad. It sounds more complicated than it is, but if you take it stage by stage, you should be able to manage all right. Just be aware that I've just noticed I've got a blister on my finger. Let's take the skin off. Cutting through that amount of fabric, it's quite thick because you've got the seams from the squares, plus you've got extra fabric on the back, so you may want to break that up a bit. I could have laid it flat, moved my cushion around and done it with a rotary cutter, but I didn't want to risk cutting into my table. So that's the next stage. I'll come back to you and I'll show you probably when it's in stages, with the zip going in, and also then as I'm joining it together. Any questions, you know where I am, and look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now.